I don't know what's going on, and I guess that's the way we're going to start off this video. But lately, I have had zero motivation to do anything. And I mean, I've had no motivation to do nothing. It's like I have all these dreams, all these goals, all this energy I could be putting into things. However, I have the time, just don't have the energy. I've talked about this before. I've been going through a huge career transition in my life. So I've been rediscovering how to make money, how to create my content, what kind of life I want to lead, what kind of life I want to live. Like, there's all these things I could be excited about, but in this current moment in time, I literally feel like doing nothing. And it seems like I'm suspended and I'm in a state of nothingness, which is what I'm feeling right now. And it's uncomfortable. Like, what would happen? Like, referring to my nervous system, what would happen if I just allowed myself to just be in this nothing? Like, am I safe? Am I still successful? Am I still productive? Like, am I still me? Also, as I'm transitioning through this, who am I? Like, I feel like in this moment in time, I'm so losing patience with myself because I'm like, come on, girl, like you should be doing this. But like, why do we feel like doing nothing? I'm not seeing the way forward yet. And I think part of my lesson has also been not rushing the process and the time in which I'm in. I'm trying not to fight myself, thinking, oh, I don't like being in the nothingness. So I'm going to force productivity because that's what's comfortable and bypass myself through the nothingness, if that makes sense. So maybe right now I'm meant to be sitting in the nothingness because the nothingness might not be empty. It might actually be where a lot of the inspiration lies. And bypassing myself and forcing myself to be somewhere else might be the very thing that is creating that feeling. So it's like, it's paradoxical, but that's kind of how I've been feeling. And I caught myself doing that actually today. I feel like I'm really sitting on a lot of things because I want to take the time to pour a lot of love, a lot of energy, and not necessarily release them out of fear, out of scarcity, or out of lack of time. I want to release it in a more wholesome, aligned way. And I feel like that's how I'm doing everything. Like, even the content, I'm moving slow, but I'm still moving. I feel like the version of me right now is way more authentic to the real version of P, like the one that my best friends see, the one that my partner sees, the one that my family sees. Like, and again, I'm not saying I wasn't showing up authentically online, like I was. It was just more of a well curated, more, I don't know, this spiritual like stigma or this box. And I feel like real healing has been me encompassing and experiencing all kinds of emotion, including the ones where I feel very lost. I feel like this is what I'm meant to be doing. I just think it's uncomfortable. I think the transition I'm going through right now is very uncomfortable for me because I got so used to just pumping out content when it comes to readings, and that's what would work. And I'm realizing that the risk I have taken is a risk that many never take. And the reason why they never take this risk is because if it ain't broke, why fix it? Like, if the content's working, the views are coming, the money's moneying, like, why fix it? But I feel like when I chose to come down here on earth, I really wanted, I made it my mission to really, really live in my soul's purpose, not my ego and my shadow's purpose, which are two different things. And that would entail making a lot of tough decisions to get me to land where I honestly felt fulfilled. And to be honest, I just didn't feel fulfilled anymore with the content. I felt like it was draining. I felt like the readings were draining. But I'll be honest with you, like I kept doing it because we live in this physical matrix and we need money to survive. And it was great. Like, I still love people. Again, that's still an aspect of me. I just feel like I was always categorized as a tarot reader, and I didn't want to be labeled as that because that wasn't all of me. That was like not even an eighth of me. And now I'm discovering that I have all these different gifts, all these different talents, all these different ways in which I can help people and bring more value. And it doesn't entail always doing more. I come from a past life where I was constantly doing, and that's the way I succeeded. In this lifetime, I am more in the feminine energy where I'm meant to create based on inspiration and also vulnerable points, which is what I'm going through right now. Because I never want to project perfectionism, I want to project sustainability because that's really the real flex. The real flex isn't about money. It's not about cars. It's not about this. It's not about dysregulation. It's peace and an actual regulated nervous system. That's what I'm going for. That's what I realize. That is what my soul has been craving. I have been experiencing a deep level of transformation inside of myself, and I'm noticing that the more authentic I become, the more that success follows, and the more that the people that are meant to be with me and understand me find me. And again, I'm trying to practice everything, and I'm trying to remind myself of everything that I repeat to myself. Because if I'm being honest with you, I I say these things, and yes, of course, I practice them, but there are times where I do forget about them. And I think having these kinds of videos kind of like holds me accountable so that I am able to like come back to that tool and say, okay, wait a second. I am going through a period of nothingness right now. I don't feel like necessarily creating content. I don't feel like putting myself out there. Or maybe I do. I just feel like I have to be perfect when I show myself out there. And I catch myself and I go, no, wait a second. Wait a second. This is exactly what we moved away from. And we're moving towards authenticity. And authenticity is not perfection. So it's okay if I'm not feeling 100%. Sometimes authentic is like, hey, this sucks. And this is where I'm at. And I feel like doing nothing and I feel unmotivated. I don't want all this perfection and all this BS. I want to just show up real. And I feel like that's what we're doing each and every week is even if it's uncomfortable and even if this is like considered taboo or just different, here's how I'm feeling. Here's what I'm struggling with. And that's the life transition that I'm holding myself. Maybe next week will come and I'll feel more inspired, more motivated, and I'll be more on that purpose. But this week, as I'm recording this, I am feeling zero motivation. And to take it one step further, you guys, I also feel like what's been really like tugging at me very strongly is because the state of the world is so changing. Sometimes we can't help but feel like an empath. When you're such an empath, when you're a light soul, when you're so connected, you feel everything so deeply. And I think part of my unmotivation is coming from seeing the current state of the world. And so I battle with that. And I kind of sometimes talk to spirit about that. It's difficult being so aware, so awakened, and so sentimental and so sensitive in a world that sometimes is very insensitive. And I'm not going to change who I am. And I'm not going to stop feeling those feelings of unmotivation. I'm going to feel them. And through them, I'm going to find motivation because that's what alchemists do. That's the real magic here. So I remind myself of that every single day. I'm like, okay, I'm still breathing, which means God's not done with me. So I'm still here for a purpose, for maybe a time, a season, or a reason. And I think that's what I'm trying to do is like help you guys also not shy away from these moments in life, especially if you're going through your mid 20s, like maybe early 30s. Like that is a pinnacle moment in life. You're transitioning from like teenager basically into adulthood. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Is like I am going to turn 30 this year. And I'm like thinking, oh, I've basically have had to start over many times. It's not the first time. Many times I've had to start over. But it feels like this start over feels a lot different. It feels like reputationally different. Like here I am showing up very different, a more evolved version, a more vulnerable, more mature version of myself, but also like the more you sit with yourself, the deeper you can meet people and the deeper you can understand and the deeper your work actually becomes. So maybe you found yourself in this season, maybe you feel similarly to me where you feel like there's a lot of nothing going on in your life, or maybe you feel like nothing, or maybe you feel like doing nothing. You have all these plans, all these things, and zero motivation to do them or zero direction on how to do them. It's probably because you're meant to be sitting in the nothing, because in the nothing then comes everything. So if you find yourself in that side of the fence right now where you do feel that, the best thing I could tell you is don't force inspiration to happen. Inspiration happens on its own, and you have to trust. That's the thing. It's like it goes back to trust. You have to trust this cycle and season in which you're in, and trust that just as you felt very unmotivated, you'll feel motivated again. And it's like you're riding this wave, right, of life. And that's what you do. I know that it might not be the answer that you're looking for, but at the end of the day, it's like we know how life works. We know the duality of energy. And energy is not something that can be forced. You have to just allow and flow with it. The only constant is change. So if you've stuck around this far, thank you so much for being here. I want to encourage you guys to join the community. It's totally free. Subscribing to my channel really does help me to continue to make these videos, to continue to know that you guys are here, that we're building something real. If you have made it this far, I would love to hear down below if you've been feeling this nothingness, if you've been feeling this change going on inside of you, and what you're currently experiencing. I always love to hear from you guys. And again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me and holding this space for me. And if you guys enjoyed, then I will see you in the next video next week. Bye.